Hello, I'm the 10-minute English teacher. Let's get you exam ready. Today we're thinking about poetry and I'm going to be providing you with a guide to Sonnet 29, I Think of Thee, from the Love and Relationships anthology. Before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe. There are plenty of things on the channel to help you with English literature and with English language. Okay, Sonnet 29, I Think of Thee, my quick guide. So we're going to start by thinking about what the poem is about. It's written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning for her husband, Robert Browning, and in the poem, she uses an extended metaphor to compare him to a tree to explore her love for him. So if I'm in the exam, my first paragraph is going to be me explaining how the poem links to the theme of the question. I'll do that for the two poems that I'm writing about, the named one and the one I've chose. If I was writing about Sonnet 29, I Think of Thee, this is what I might write. Sonnet 29, I Think of Thee was written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning for her husband, Robert Browning. In the poem, Barrett Browning uses imagery of the natural world to communicate her strong romantic feelings, and the poem is an extended metaphor where she compares her husband to a tree, something both beautiful and supportive. The poem also explores how love can be all-consuming, as you can also see the speaker's sentiments as obsessive. Once I've done that, I'm going to move on to thinking about structure. So my second paragraph of the exam is going to be me exploring the structure of my two poems. If Sonnet 29, I Think of Thee was one of them, this is what I would write. The poem is a sonnet, and the use of iambic pentameter and the ABBA rhyme scheme used by Barrett Browning could reflect the idea that her love for her subject has brought order to her life. And once I've done that, I'm going to start analysing the poem. So, quotes to know. You might have annotated every single line in your anthology and colour-coded it, but that ultimately isn't going to help you too much in the exam at this point. You're only going to be writing about 3 or 4 quotes from each poem in the 45 minutes you've got. So I'm going to talk to you about my 4 that I would be referring to if I was in the exam writing about this poem. My first one is this: my thoughts do twine about thee as wild vines about a tree. And this is what I'd say about that one. So we've got, it's a simile, and this reflects the idea that her love for him keeps growing. The use of the tree to represent the subject makes him seem strong and supportive. I could also talk about the fact that this simile elicits thoughts of physical embrace and could be communicating her sexual desire for her subject. After that, I'm going to move on to my next quote, which is this one: breathe within thy shadow a new air. And here's what I'd say. Shadows are an image often associated with death. Even the subject shadow here is associated with growth and beauty. Such is the strength of the speaker's love. But I could also say that the use of imperative verbs give the speaker a commanding tone. My next quote is this one: thee who art dearer, better. The constant addressing of her subject reflects how her love consumes her. He is all that she thinks about. Her love can also be interpreted as obsessive, and it's quite self-deprecating here as well, for her to see herself as so inferior to him. And lastly, I'd be using this one: set thy trunk all bare. The use of imperative verbs, again, giving the speaker a commanding tone. We've also got the subject being likened to a tree, strong and supportive to her. And if you want to take a risk, you can also say that this metaphor elicits thoughts of sexual embrace. And those are my 4 quotes to know. You can pause here and try and recall them. And if you're finding that difficult, you can use the play bar to go back and look over them again. Okay, to take it further, watch the video again and mute the sound. You do the talking and be the teacher. Think about how you might compare this poem to others, like Porphyria's Lover, which explore strong feelings in romantic relationships. Check out my quotes to know without looking guides to revise the flashcards for the key quotes. And after the exam, let us know how you've got on by coming back and letting us know in the comments section. Okay, check out the other videos on my channel. I'll continue to add content. Feel free to ask for something you'd like to see me cover in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, and keep revising.